Hello and welcome to the show. This is East Tennessee Music Scene on the Rise. Here with Bobby Moore. I am Scott Thomas, and we are joined by Rick Stone. This is my first time back on stage for quite some time, so I'm going to have to get back into the swing of things with this. But we'll start off real quick by just give us a little background of your musical talents, your knowledge of it, how long you've been playing, things like that.
Okay. Well, I was a bander, you know, in school. So, I mean, I was a marching band. There's pictures of me in marching band uniforms and stuff like that. Sure is. I played trumpet. I played bugle when I was in Boy Scouts. I also played bugle when I was in the military. I was in the U.S. Army.
Oh, cool.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. But then that's about as far as things went, life and everything else. Well, about the time before I turned 40, I thought, you know, I've been to a lot of parties, I've seen a bunch of folks sitting around playing guitar, singing. I thought, man, it looks like fun. It just like, you know, how can you be bored, you know, if you can learn how to do that? So I bought a guitar, took lessons, and my first guitar teacher ended up being my first bass player in my first band. And then I started writing, and then it's just gone from there. It's turned into something I never dreamed could happen. I never set out to do what I do now. It's just, this is where it's led.
Yeah.
And so it's amazing. I've gotten to open up for national acts like Confederate Railroad, CAM, Neal McCoy.
Awesome.
Doing a pre-show for Sarah Evans coming up here in April.
Oh, nice.
So down at Milltown Music Hall. So just having a blast, getting around and playing, you know, all through Tennessee and all the way down into Georgia and trying to break into Florida now. And supposedly James has got us some dates in South Carolina coming up. So
that'd be pretty cool.
I have to keep on him a little bit. but no, it's a blast. It's something I can't believe I get to do.
Cool.
Blessed.
Yeah.
Very blessed.
So how long have you been doing it?
Well, I'm 53, so I've been doing this about 13 years now, almost 14. So,
Awesome, that's awesome.
Just like I said, it started a little later in life, but just having a ball.
I always like to ask each person that comes up, or each group that comes up with us, this specific question. Your genre, I mean, it's obviously going to be more country.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a specific style of country that you like to play, or is it just kind of fly by the seat of your pants, kind of, we'll play it this way, and then another one will go
I think it's
a
more
different way?
flying by the seat of my pants, and my wife's laughing over there. Lisa's laughing. She's going, yeah.
Like off camera, you said you kind of change it up a little bit.
I do. I change it up. Just try to have fun as live in a show, and like I said, if I forget lyrics, I'm liable to write a new one. You know, so it's just and that sometimes really makes you'll look over at the other guys in the band, they'll be like shaking their head laughing, or turn backs because they're laughing so hard. They're like, I can't believe you just did that.
Yeah.
But just try to roll with it. I really do.
Is your sound kind of modeled after the old style country, like Hank
More
Williams
kind of
and things
old,
like that?
yeah, more old style. George Strait,
Okay.
good
cool.
example. Cody Jinks, a more modern example. Cody Jinks is a very strong influence of mine. Actually got to meet the man.
Oh, cool.
Very cool guy.
Cool.
Very cool guy.
That's awesome.
Just like a regular guy. And he sat and talked to my former bass player and I before a show, and he's a great guy.
It's always good to meet national acts that are still humble in their craft, and they.
Danny Shirley, Confederate Railroad, another one. You want to just talk about just a regular guy? He's a great guy. Him and all his band, just great guys.
Yeah, I met them at Blackstock.
Did you?
That was the last show we had when I was booking promoting over there. It was Confederate Railroad, and they were all really, really down to earth.
It's great guys. Matter of fact, we did a show with them in Dalton. Back was it summer before last, I think it was. And after the show, my son and I hung out with Danny Shirley, and we just sat there out in the tent where everybody had cleared out, left, and just three of us sitting there talking music, having a beer.
I know he's big time into throwing his picks.
Yeah.
Because I picked up so many off the floor the next morning. I was like, yeah, great.
Sure enough,
They're everywhere.
You mentioned that you've been involved with other bands before you are with your current band setup. Have you kind of changed your style along the way?
Yeah, I kind of have. We ran a while with pedal steel. We were a 5-piece with pedal steel, and it was great. And the response at first was really strong, but then after we kind of toured around with it for a while, it was kind of played itself out. So now we've kind of shifted back more rockin' country.
Okay.
We still can be very twangy, and we can do everything from George Jones, Johnny Cash, and but we do stuff like Luke Combs and Cody Jinks, stuff that you'd hear today. So, and everything in between, you know.
And you have originals that
Oh,
you
absolutely. Yeah, I try to play at least 4 to 6 originals per night.
Okay.
And then, depending on where we're at, I'll get requests to play more. You know, we were up in Crossville.
Okay.
A little place called Pappy's Bar and Grill, I believe that's the name of that place up there. And I didn't get but maybe 3 songs in, and this one guy stood up. He says, "Oh, come on now." He says, "We know you got original songs. Want to hear them?
Yeah.
Want to hear them?" And it felt great, you know, to sit there. You know, here this guy's going to call me out. You know, saying,
Yeah.
you know, you better play an original song. So I did, and
I love hearing originals. Just like the old stuff is good to hear, but when you hear an original and you can connect with that as much as you can with the song you've heard for years and years and on the radio and things like that, it makes it even better for me. I enjoy it more.
It's something that I started early in my career doing, and much to the chagrin of musicians that I played with in early band, you know, in my early bands, and that they're like, "Oh, come on, original, we don't want to do mess with this and this and that." But I just kept pushing it, and just so it's expected.
Yeah.
It's actually expected when I go places, and
That's
you know,
a good thing.
sometimes people will say, "Hey, you know, we wish we'd play more of them." Well, this venue wants us to play this blend, you know, and you just kind of have to do your job, because it's the music business.
Because the venue hires you in there to play a certain style of music in a certain way.
And if you turn it into something that they don't want, then you're going to go awry.
Yeah.
So it's just best to kind of walk the line there, as Johnny Cash would say.
Yeah. It's always good to keep them happy and keep you happy on stage too. So
Absolutely.
So you'll keep coming back.
So are you originally from Tennessee, or?
No, actually, actually, I'm from Chatsworth. I live in Chatsworth, Georgia, but originally I grew up in Mount Clemens, Michigan. Oddly enough.
Wow.
But I've lived in the South longer than I ever did up north. Military brought me south.
Cool.
And basically, I moved to Georgia and never moved back.
You don't have that classic Southern twang to your voice.
No.
And when you said Cookville, everybody around here says Cookville.
Cookville.
Cookville. Yep.
Or Crossville.
Or Crossville.
It's Bull instead of Ville.
Merle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, we live in Chatsworth, right at the base of the mountains there. And
That's cool.
That's our family playground up there in the mountains.
Yeah.
If I'm not playing, it's a beautiful day, like a Saturday or Sunday. You can bet we're probably right in the mountains up there somewhere.
Nice.
And that's me. He's been trying to drag me out here, but I've been fishing so much that.
Trout fish?
No, bass.
Bass?
Bass
I love the bass fish too.
He's big into wandering through the mountains, finding fishing holes.
Yeah,
Absolutely. There ain't nothing wrong with
I
that.
strap my backpack on, get my pole, and I'm gone.
See, you and I could hang. I think we could definitely hang together.
I get lost more than I catch fish, but
Hey,
it's
that's
fun.
part of the fun.
I always find my way back to the chagrin of my woman.
Oh, well,
Damn, he's back again.
For the
get
people
on the
out
phone.
there
He's alive. He made it.
for the people out there that are maybe wondering where they can find your music, can you let them know exactly?
Absolutely.
Websites and things?
YouTube is Rick Stone Music. Reverb Nation is Rick Stone Music. Facebook is Rick Stone Music. My website is www.rickstoneofficial.com.
Cool.
And I have an Instagram as well, rick.stone.
That's cool.
He's
Everybody
also
has
on
Instagram.
Tinder.
Yeah.
Swap her out.
I wouldn't be saying that in front of his wife over here.
Oh, that was our personal. I'm sorry.
We like to make jokes around here.
Oh,
Don't
that's
take
all
anything
good.
personal. Hopefully you're not offended by much. But
No, trust me, you'd have to know, my band will tell you that I'm a prankster on stage. They like saying, I got ricked,
Oh, there you go.
because I'll take like rappers or whatever like this, and they'll be playing, I'll sneak up and put it on your shoulder and see how long it can stay there. And they only know something's up because I'll keep looking back, and they're like going, and and they're playing, so they're trying to blow it off their shoulder. But you gotta have fun on stage, I think if you do that, the crowd sees that you're enjoying yourself. Even if you've had a bad day and you're just, sick, tired, whatever, you're gonna have to play the part.
Yeah.
Get up there and smile and do your thing and walk outside afterwards and go, oh, So I'll run back in there.
Okay.
But, and just remember you're blessed.
Yeah.
Because, even when I'm just exhausted. And this weekend I'll be exhausted because I'm running hard all weekend long.
Oh, yeah.
And I even play tomorrow. So by tomorrow afternoon, fingers will be hurting real bad and I'll be tired, but I'll say, you know what? You get to do this.
Yeah.
You get to do this. How cool is this?
Yeah. Tell you a good prank to play. Find you a detuned snare, swap the snare out on your drummer.
Oh.
I like it.
Yeah. It'll drive him absolutely nuts.
I like it a lot. Mark's gonna hear this and go, "Don't you do it."
No, just when you're sitting back there and you guys are tuning up and you just, what the hell happened?
I do have to give a shout out to my band.
Yeah.
Mark Edwards is my drummer. He's been with me a long time. Brian Bennett is my lead guitar player. Actually, Brian's been with me the longest of my current configuration. And our newest member, Paul Brannon, on bass. And so he's been with us now about a month and a half or so. And we're sure enjoying having him on board. So great group of guys.
On stage, do you also play guitar as well as singing?
I play acoustic and sing.
Okay.
And actually sing the majority of
So
what
your
we
guitar
do.
playing is mostly acoustic on stage?
Yes,
No
it is
electric?
no electric. I own a telly, and I may keep threatening to drag it out.
I'd
Me
say
too.
most guitarists have multiple guitars, whether it be acoustic, electric, or even those steel guitars. Might drag those out every once in a while.
I don't have a steel guitar. I don't even know how those guys play that. I had a pedal steel player, and I'd just sit there on stage and watch him sometimes, and I'm like, how do you
I
do
don't see
that?
how people play
He over there just
the mandolin.
knees going, and he's just all over the place, and you're just like,
I've got a friend that's got a fiddle, he's got mandolins and everything else, and I'm like, well, let's bring them out and try to play them. He's like, I can't play none of them. I've got them. They're just sitting there.
No, I can play a little mandolin. I can play some bass, and I own a drum kit, but I can't play drums very well. Although the longer I've been doing it, I'm starting to understand what my drummers keep trying to teach me about it, and I'm starting to get the concepts. I have a cajon, and I can play it some.
Okay.
But if I get behind a kit, it's kind of like a 3-year-old going at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to be anything special.
I make a bunch of noise rather than make any
Pretty
rhythms.
much, yeah. Pretty much.
I started out on bass.
Did you?
And never took lessons or anything, but I saw a corn cover band. They were having auditions one day, and I just kind of snuck on stage and picked their bass up, and he's like, you've got it. Let's do this. Because I already played a little bit of guitar.
Yeah.
But
That's cool, man.
This is simple. What are you doing?
Well, some people, it's like, guitar hasn't been all that hard, difficult. I got to practice, obviously, but,
It was a corn cover band, so it was like single fret drop A, and it was easy as crap.
You say it's easy, but if I tried to do it, I couldn't.
ain't
I can't
happening.
play guitar.
I have faith in you, brother. I got faith in you.
You have more faith in me than I have in myself, apparently, with this musician stuff. I pride myself on being a watcher rather than a player.
Okay,
Because I
gotcha.
can't play worth a crap. My hands don't move in the right way
They just
to
don't.
go up around the frets. I mean, it's hard to get, contorted.
See, that's why I switched over to the booking and promotional side of things, because when I was in a band, it was just so hard to get a show anywhere, and then getting screwed on the money constantly. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to get on the other side of the curtain. I'm not going to let this happen to bands. It's so hard for me to get up there. And
That's a good thing. We need more promoters like that that are looking out for the bands and trying to take, because it's a hard business, man. This
It is.
isn't
Very
easy
hard.
at all. I mean, there's nothing easy, but you better want it, and you better be able to just want to work
Yeah.
constantly. Constantly, relentlessly. I
takes
have
a
a
lot of
studio.
connections
I have
to
a
get
home
into.
studio, and Lisa will tell you, she'll just see me up the stairs. Well, he's working on something. Come down an hour or two, maybe a whole lot later. You never know. So
You just happen to get an idea. Light bulb goes off, and you're like, I got to get this written down. Or
now the
play.
really cool thing is that Lisa also helps write as well. My wife Lisa helps
Oh,
write
cool.
too. So
So she gets some credit for the music you
she
hear on any of
does. She
his
does.
albums.
Even though she's over there going, "Don't you point that camera at me." Where were we on TV somewhere? And I asked her, or we were on the radio somewhere. I think we were in Jasper, Georgia. And I went to say, "Baby, you want to say something like this?" And she's over there going, "Stop it."
It's always good to have a woman behind the band, or behind you, to support and
It's
drive you to
she's
do better.
been. I've drug her around every honky tonk, every little roadside bar, barn, you name it. In what, 4 or 5 states? because we were in Michigan last summer, and I don't know how she does it. I have no idea, and I'm forever grateful, and I love her, and she knows that, and I cannot thank her enough.
So we should thank her. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
all that you do.
It's a
We
round of
appreciate it.
applause.
And I think that is the most sentimental we have ever gotten on this show.
Exactly. But we like to throw everybody under the bus on this show.
Yeah.
If they're sitting out off camera, bring them on.
She's over there going, I ain't getting on camera. If you pointed her way, she'd be for that door right there. Faster than you can bet.
So do you have anything recorded, ready for people to pick up on
Yes,
at your shows or
I don't.
online?
We're in process of wrapping up my first actual full-length EP,
Okay.
and it's taken a long time to get it done. But I also I work a day job too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I work do both jobs full time. I mean, really, but I got a family to take care of too. You can't just rely on one thing.
There's very few out there that can actually live on music alone.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to love what you do in order to continue it.
Oh yeah, but we've got plenty of videos out. Matter of fact, promotion, they did the last two, Quicksilver and Wondering What I'm Doing Wrong. They're on YouTube. You can find those on YouTube, the YouTube channel, Rick Stone Music.
Yeah.
You can also catch me on Spotify. I used to be the Rick Byers Band.
Okay.
And there's still stuff out there in the Rick Byers Band. When we get that EP done, then that'll come down and it'll get all re-released together in just that one EP.
How many songs are going to be on this EP?
There'll be 12.
12 songs?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good size.
Yeah, reasonable. I want it to be respectable. It's taken a long time to get this done.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're even recording a lot of this ourselves, because I produce, but so does Brian Bennett, my lead guitar player. So he's got a studio down in Douglasville. So between us all, but we've got jobs and families and everything else, and you're trying to get all this done, plus doing shows and everything else. It's just a lot, but we just keep chiseling at it, just chiseling at it. Eventually it gets done.
I always ask this to anybody we interview, but any funny stories off the road?
Oh man,
I can see
I
the
don't even
wheels
know where to
turning.
begin. I don't even know where to begin. G-rated or what?
Yeah, let's keep
We
it.
can go semi.
Yeah, like PG-13.
PG-13.
Bordering on R.
Bordering on R.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you tell me
Early in my career.
If you can limit the amount of curse words you say.
Oh, there won't be no curse words.
Okay.
Early in my career of playing, and it was an American Legion in Cartersville, Georgia.
Okay.
Well, this little lady, old lady, she was in her late 70s, came to our shows all the time.
Okay.
Okay. And she just thought the band was all that, and we just loved us and everything else. Well, I have a wireless mic, and I would routinely go out in the crowd. Well, I decided to ask her to dance with me one time.
Okay.
Well, we're dancing around, I'm singing. And matter of fact, I was singing In Color by Jamie Johnson. I can remember the song. She rubbed herself all over my leg. Mm-hmm. And then I looked at her, I'm going, you're a bad girl. You can't do that. And she gave me a wink like this and walked off. I'm like, so I look back at my band. They're about puking. They're laughing so hard. I mean, they're just falling over laughing behind me, just dying. How they kept playing the song, I have no idea. How we got through the song, I have no idea. But yeah, that's one of many.
That's a way to have fun, though.
So
Interacting with the crowd is something that most musicians should probably try to do if they have wireless systems.
I have wireless guitar. I do wireless guitar and wireless microphone. And one funny story, we were down in Milledgeville at a place called Cowboy Bill's years ago.
Yeah.
It's a really cool honky-tonk. Well, we're in town for the first time. No one knows us, so there's 30 people there, and they're all at the bar, and it's way at the other end of the thing.
Yeah.
So I grabbed my mic, my guitar, and I walked right down to the bar, and I sat there and sang like 3-4 songs. Band's playing up on stage, and I'm just right there in your face, because I'm like, you know what? We need to get to know each other. I'm going to bring it to you, you know? And they sat back, and they're like, wow, that was cool.
Yeah.
No one's ever done that before. But that's what I'm there to do. I'm there to do a job. I'm there to entertain. Y'all are paying to come see me play. What can I do to somehow entertain you? Within reason.
Judging by that, your stage show must be pretty good.
It's
move
fun.
around on stage. And you're...
We move around on stage. Matter of fact, my lead guitar player, he's wireless, so is my bass player. So we tend to leave the drummer up there by himself sometimes. Mark will be playing. He keeps teasing. He says, I'm going to bring a snare drum. He says, and I'm going to walk around the club too. And he says, I'm going to be playing with you.
Get a little roller coaster goes through the club.
Exactly. And people love it. They love that interaction, that you're willing to come and get up close and personal with them, and I'm thankful they're there. So I want to do whatever I can, like I said, within reason.
Come back.
So they'll come back. So they'll remember who you are. They'll you know, it's more than just the music. You can play great music, but if you don't interact with them well, then they don't remember you. They don't remember who you are.
I always kind of equate that to the. I'm dating myself here. It's the Back to the Future where when Marty McFly's just standing on stage just strumming along. None of them are moving around except for the vocalist. He was moving around all over the place, but everybody else is just sitting there like this. I mean,
that's what I used to get on to Andrew Staley about. Yeah, I'm calling you out, son. when he played bass for Blunt Force Trauma, I mean, he was a young kid, like 19 or something, maybe 20, I'm not sure, but he would hide behind the freaking microphone, like the stand. And I'd be like, move, do something. And before it was over, he was the lead singer for, was it Afterlife? Yeah,
probably.
So he got over it.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
So as we close this out, we're going to talk just a little bit about the song you're going to play at the end. If you would give us a little background on the song and kind of where it came from, so we can...
The song is called Quicksilver. It's just one of them songs about when relationship is not going right, and it just kind of stemmed from various things in life, you know, that have happened in relationships and everything else, and just...
That's where most good music comes from, is just from the heart or from the experiences.
And what happens in an argument and everything else, and that's just kind of how that song came about, so... I wish I had some great deep story about that song, but there's not. Now I do have. Now if you look on my YouTube, there's "I'm Your Man," and I wrote that when I was for my lovely wife when I was really mad at her.
That's awesome.
That's another story for another time.
Well, it's been great having you on stage with us and coming in out of your busy schedule and joining us for this interview in our always unconventional way. And with Bobby being here, you never know what to expect with him.
Oh, it's been a great time, y'all. It really has. I've enjoyed it.
We play off each other pretty well, I'd say.
I definitely have enjoyed it. It's been a great time. Thank you so much for having me.
Like I said, it's been great having you.
Thank you for coming.
This has been East Tennessee the East Tennessee music scene on the rise. I will say that again. This has been East Tennessee music scene on the rise. I'm Scott Thomas, here with Bobby Moore and Rick Stone.
The human stripper pole for old ladies.
Check him out online, wherever you can find him. He's a great guy. And we will see you next time.
Thanks, guys. This song is called Quicksilver. And I just can't sleep. What I got to say, you know, just won't keep. I burden you with demons tonight, monsters inside. I say I don't love you now, that ain't true. Don't know how to show it, but what can I do? Oh, please, please, baby, come back home. Like till you're gone, I held too tight. Please come home, I'll make things right. Now give me another chance, yeah, I'll make it worth the while. I'd move heaven and earth to see you smile. Let's go back to that neon smoke where we laughed and how we joked. Let's go back when and spark up them old flames. Spark up old flames now, don't you disappear. How far we've come, there's be no regrets. Oh, please, please, baby, come back home. Like to see you